Solid defending and fluid attacking is up for grabs with this Arsenal FC tactic. And here's how you make it. So for today's formation, we are going to go with a 4-4-1-1. Here's how the lineup goes. So in goal, we are going with Aaron Ramsdale. Moving on to our back four, we have Tomiyasu at right back, Ben White at centre back, Gabriel at centre back, and Kieran Tierney at left back. Moving into the midfield five, we have Saka, Partey, Odegaard in the 10, Xhaka as our left centre mid, and Smith Rowe on the left mid. And finalising, we have Lacazette up top. With this formation, you are going to make two changes. You're going to make sure that your right back and left back are as fullbacks and not wing backs. And with your left and right midfielders, make sure you keep them as left and right midfielders and not left and right wingers. That's all. One thing I love about this tactic is the balance it provides. You're able to switch your approach to a game depending on the nature of the game. I'll explain more of that in the tactics. For this video, we are going to start with how we attack for Arsenal FC. Starting with build-up play, we are going to go with fast build-up. What fast build-up allows you to do is exploit the space that teams leave behind when they are pressing onto you. So in regards to how we defend, it's going to make a little bit more sense as to why I've gone with that. But the idea of using the current players that you do have at Arsenal is trying to get them as forward as possible and into those open spaces as quickly as possible without necessarily them dealing with too much pressure. And with the chance creation, we are going to go with balanced. So being balanced in our chance creation allows us to find multiple ways to attack. One thing you'll notice in the gameplay alone today is that we attacked in different ways. We attacked from a direct counter attack. There was one that came from a bit of fluid passing around the edge of the box. Another one was a little bit of a solo run. So the chance creation does allow us to be a little bit more creative. However, we are still trying to be as quick as possible going forward when we do go and take those chances at our opposition goal. With the width, you are going to go with 65. So having that width is going to allow us to stretch teams, especially when we're waiting for our chances to go and attack. And it's going to be able to spread the opposition fullbacks and their wingers too. Part of having this width is also going to allow you to attack in wide areas too, and not just trying to attack through the middle. With your players in the box, we are going to go with 5. With your corners, you're going to go with 3. And with your free kicks, you are going to go with 3-2. So with your defensive style, you are going to go with balanced. So being balanced just allows you to adapt a little bit to match situations. Sometimes you are going to go and try and press from the front. I would say save your pressing with the midfield players. I would also say that sometimes sitting back may pay off a little bit more than trying to be incredibly aggressive in terms of your pressing. You will probably concede a little bit too much space in behind. It's probably better that you sit back and then hit teams on the counter attack. With the width, you are going to go with 45. Having this kind of width is going to allow you to force the opposition to play out wide rather than them trying to carve through your midfield 5 essentially and your back line. You want players forcing crosses. You don't want them building up too much in the middle of the pitch. You want them to try and use their wingers as much as possible. Regarding your team's defensive line, you are going to go with 60. Now, I know this might be a little bit deeper for some of you guys' liking, but simply the deep line just also helps us to maintain that compact shape. Now, there are some pros and cons to this tactic as well. I will explain those later on in the video, so make sure you stay tuned. And if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Back to Arsenal. Right, instructions time. So starting with Ramsdale, you are going to have him on comes for crosses and sweeper keeper. Then going into your back four, who by the way is going to be very balanced compared to other tactics that I've done. We're going to start with Tomiyasu. So Tomiyasu is going to be on balanced attack. His interceptions are going to be normal. His run type is going to be mixed, and he is going to stick to his position. Moving on to Ben White, we're going to have him on stay back while attacking, normal interceptions, and stick to position. Gabriel is also going to be on stay back while attacking, normal interceptions. However, we are going to have him on step up. And lastly with Tierney, he is going to be on balanced attack, normal interceptions, he is going to have an overlapping run type, and he is also going to stick to his position. Next up, you've got your two central midfielders who are going to be playing like two box-to-box midfielders. However, their roles are going to be slightly different depending on the player. So starting with Granit Xhaka, he is going to be on stay back while attacking. He is going to have balanced crossing runs. His interceptions are going to be normal. He is going to stick to his position, and he is going to cover the centre. Thomas Partey, on the other hand, is going to have a balanced attack. He is going to stay on the edge of the box for crosses. His interceptions are going to be aggressive. He is also going to cover centre. He is also going to cover centre, and he's going to stick to his position. Up next, we've got our wide players who aren't wingers, they are wide midfielders. Starting with Smith Rowe, we are going to have him on comeback on defense. He is going to cut inside. His support runs are going to be balanced. His interceptions are going to be normal, and he is going to get into the box for crosses. With Bukayo Saka, it's literally going to be the same thing. He is going to come back on defense. He's going to cut inside. His support runs are going to be balanced. His interceptions are going to be normal, and he is going to get into the box for crosses. With regards to both Smith Rowe's and Saka's cut inside chance creation, that just allows us to be a little bit nearer to the cam and the striker in certain attacks, just so that it's a little bit easier to dominate with link-up play as opposed to a cross. With Odegaard, our number 10 in this system, he is going to be on basic defensive support. He is also going to get into the box for crosses. His positioning freedom is going to be on free roam, and his interceptions are going to be aggressive. Last but not least, we've got Lacazette. His support runs are going to be on stay central. His attacking runs are going to be as a target man. His interceptions are going to be aggressive, and he is going to stay forward. Now, I did experiment two different systems where I played Lacazette as a false 9 and as a target man. As a false 9, he sometimes wasn't the best option to pass to when it came to building certain attacks. However, when he's a target man, he likes to pin himself on the centre back, and then you can literally use short passes or over the top through balls or through ball flick-ons that allow players like Odegaard, Saka or Smith Rowe to run onto. If you've made it this far to the video, firstly, thank you so much, but I am now going to give you a little bit of a further insight in regards to the pros and cons to this tactic. So pro number 1 is that this tactic offers incredible balance. Unlike other teams where certain managers and certain teams are generally fixed to a certain playstyle, that can sometimes be a little bit of a hindrance because that playstyle may not necessarily work for the opposition that you're playing against. With this Arsenal tactic, you're able to switch it up depending on how your opponent can play. So if you want to play on a little bit more of a counter-attacking strategy and you want to counteract to how your opponent plays, the Arsenal tactic is really good for that. Pro number 2 are for those that like to use Arsenal for their career modes. This team honestly has some really good youth players that you are able to go and boost up, especially in the long term. So when we're talking about players like Saka, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, Nketiah, Martinelli, just to name a few, you can really take part in having an impact in terms of their long-term progress, which I think is really fun on career modes. However, you also get to strengthen those other weaker positions gradually as well. So whether that be you want a better goalkeeper, or you want to bolster up your defense, or you want to strengthen your attack, there are loads of opportunities to go and do that with Arsenal. Pro number 3 is that with the right timing when you're attacking, you can honestly go and hurt teams. A lot of teams will look at this like, oh, it's Arsenal, we can go and impose ourselves on these guys, but I tell you now, a lot of these opponents aren't thinking about the space that they leave behind. Whereas if you're watching this video, you are now going to have in the back of your minds how you can exploit the space of teams that they give. When those teams give you those spaces, it's now our jobs to really go and hound them and make them regret giving that space. And in those moments, you really want to go and hurt teams as much as you can. Now, even though this tactic and this team has some really good qualities, there are some not so great qualities as well. Starting with con number 1, this team doesn't have great depth. So especially for those of you that are using this tactic for career modes, it's really crucial that you use your transfer budget wisely to add some quality depth to as many positions as you can. Con number 2, the current quality of Arsenal right now isn't the greatest. You probably won't win every game and you will lose out to stronger oppositions, whether that be in online seasons or whether that be in career modes. If you are looking for a slightly stronger team to dominate FIFA with, I might actually have a solution to help you with that, and it can all be found in that video right over there.